Good morning. You are most welcome on my channel. Now we will discuss about the dictatorship of Islam and the liberal media, that is the Western media, is only screaming to defame the India with malefied intention. Because as you all of us know, the Islamic country has a single standard or one side standard or one side dictatorship. When any Muslims or any Muslim was killed in India by a mob, then it is saying that Islamophobia is growing very rapidly in India. But in all Islamic country, the status of minority is very very pure. They are rarely safe in those countries which are the Muslim majority country or which are those the Islamic countries. As you know, in the all the Gulf countries, they are all Islamic country. Rather, Islamic majority countries are killing the non-Muslims or Kaffirs, whether they are Hindus, they are Buddhist, or either they are Christians. These are being killed by the Islamic governments, and more than 1100 Hindus were vanished by these Islamic government in the Gulf countries, and more than 100 um, women of Hindus were either converted to Islam or either were killed by these Islamic terrorists. So this is the dictatorship. If any one Muslim killed by any non-Muslim, that they are screaming that India is going to be intolerant. But if in their countries there are so many instances where the Hindu minority were killed by these fanatics. This is the treacherous work which is committed by these fanatic Muslims as per the doctrine of, of the Quran or the Islamic doctrine. So Islamic doctrine is a dictatorship. When a Muslim killed by a non-Muslim, then it is very disgracing to all the Islamic world, or it is very heart touching even to the Islamic world. 1,000 of the Hindus or Christian were killed by ISIS and the Islamic terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir and throughout all the part of the world. There is no pay heed, and there is no hue and cry for killing of the non-Muslims or Kafirs, because this is the tendency of Islam. Islam never defined non-Muslim or Kafir as a human beings. This is why, according to the Islamic doctrine, it is it is clear that if a Muslim kill a non-Muslim or Kafir, he will go to heaven or he will be traveler of heaven. And if a non-Muslim or Kafir, if he died as a Kafir, he will go in hell. This is the treacherous tendency of Islamic doctrine, and these all Islamic scholars which are describing on the um, on the television channel that Islam believe in coexistence is totally wrong. This is a very treacherous and cunningness thoughts of these Islamic scholars that Islam is in favor of brotherhood. There is no brotherhood in Islam with Kafirs or the non-Muslims. And these liberal, the Western media liberals are so cunning or so stupid. I would like to say them as a stupids, because they do not know what is the real doctrine of Quran and Hadith, and even they did not know what is the doctrine of Sanatan Vedic Dharma, that is Hinduism as per the Western media eyes or Western media conceptions. So I would like to say that there is no chance to coexistence of- in Islam with any non-Muslims or Kafirs. And the Mr. One clerics which is living in California from hails from the India. I think he is Devbandi. He is screaming on the TV channel that Islam teaches us the coexistence with the unity. No, Islam is very, very against the unity, and it is very, very treacherous doctrine which propagated the killing of the Kafir since inception of the Islam, means during the life period of Prophet Muhammad Sahib and his companions. Prophet Muhammad Sahib and his companion killed so many Jewish tribes and the enslaved the children and make the enslaved the women of the Kaffirs, because Jews are Kafir in the eye of the Islamic doctrine, and they were raped so many times, and even they were uh, enslaved as a sex slave or londi or bandi in the Arabic, and they were also sold to the open market. And in exchange of the value of these women, the arms and ammunition were purchased by these Muslims at the time of Prophet Muhammad Sahib. You see, Banu Qurayza, a Jewish tribe, was never on the wrong path, but the Banu Qurayza donated the many instrument digging the trench in the trench war or Khandak war in Medina. The trench was dug out from the northern side of Medina, but Banu Qurayza refused to take direct war with Abu Sufyan's Abu Sufyan Quraysh tribe, which is the Muhammad Sowan tribe. Then all the male were slaughtered by these fanatic jihadists by and Muhammad Sahib, and all the women were distributed as the toys or commodities into the Muslims. So it is very amazing thought that in Islam, if a war captive woman is kafir or non-Muslim, she can be raped. There is no offense, there is no crime, there is no punishment in Islam. So this Islam, this Islamic doctrine molested the sanctity of the woman or molested their honor, and this was done by all the Muslims since inception of Islam, or we can say since at the time of Prophet Muhammad Sahib. So this dictatorship of Islam cannot be run today, because the Islam want only one way traffic. They want to be a superior. Their theory of Islam, Islamic doctrine is just like a superior to, and the another who is kafir is inferior to the Muslims. This is the main doctrine of Islam, and this is the main cause of disturbance throughout the world. So we can say that the Western media and the liberal media of India is screaming only to hide out the treacherousness and the brutality and cruelty of Islam. And these Western medias or liberal media from India is getting a handsome amount from the Saudi Arab and the so many Arabian country, because these Western media and these liberals of India are trying to hide the brutality or cruelty or treacherousness of Islamic doctrine against the kafir. But fact is fact, truth is bitter, but is better. So we can say that Islamic doctrine has no instances, has no even a single instance the coexistence of the Muslims with non-Muslims or the Kafirs. So all the Maulanas or the Islamic scholar which are screaming on the television channel or in his announcement that the Islam is the peace of religion, this is the greatest lie of the world, that Islam is a peace of religion. I am searching peace in the Islam since 30 years before, but I never find it. There is any peace or any peace verses in this Islam for the Kafirs. This Islam recognize the all the criminal or the criminal offenses as certified by the Quran against the Kafir as Mali Ganimat means robbery, robbery of women, robbery of wealth, ki- killing the Kafirs, all certified in the Islam, and this is treacherousness. This is the treacherousness of the Islam that every Islamic scholar want to hide the these black part, black, yeah, dark part of the Islam, that if a Muslim scholar think that if they will scream or they will shout against that, if you will say even a single word against the Islam, this is the blasphemy, and they are trying to uh, threat to the non-Muslims or Kafirs, screaming abusive, as Nupur Sharma's statement was as correct as per Hadith and Quran. But these Maulanas are screaming or scream throughout the world that the Islam is in danger. Islam is in danger only its treacherousness and its brutality against the non-Muslim or Kafirs. And you see, there is even a single verses of Quran is not in favor of any non-Muslim or Kafirs. A single verse of peace is in not favor of non-Muslim or Kafirs. So what type is Allah who disturb all the society, all the humanity, all the globe, disturbed and propagated the violence and killing of the human beings. So this type of Islamic doctrine is very, very fatal to the humanity and the kafirs throughout the world. And this will be resultant of a great havoc or nuisance or violence in this world in next coming years, and the next generation of non-Muslims are in very endanger if we will avoid it. And these liberal media and the Western media, who does not know even single ABCD about the Islamic doctrine on violence of Islam, they are throwing their children into the dustbin or into the hand of the butchers, or thrown in the slaughterhouse, and the master of the slaughterhouse will be naturally the as a follower of Islamic doctrine or Quranic violent doctrine. So we must thought, we must think that if we uh, cannot oppose this doctrine, certainly we will be in danger in next 10 or 12 or 20 years. And only the shouting of the Islamic scholars, the main cause is that can nobody could understand the Islamic doctrine of violence. So they are screaming or they are shouting because shouting for fear, fear in the Kafirs or the non-Muslims, that if they are afraid from the Muslims and their violent doctrine or their killing habits, certainly the reality of Islam or brutality, cruelty of Islam will never be exposed by these non-Muslims or Kafirs. But it is not the solution. Solution is that if Islam will be reformed, or all the Quranic verses which are against the doctrine of unity, doctrine of unity, or propagating the violence must be abrogated. Otherwise, the Islam is very, very dangerous to the society and to the human mankind, mankind, and there is no chance to evolve the peace on this earth with this Islamic violent doctrine. It is only possible when the Islamic violent doctrine may be reformed, or the Quranic verses may be should be abrogated, which are creating havoc and nuisance and violence throughout the world. And after reading these verses, the Muslims or follow Islamic followers, jihadist fanatics are killing the non-Muslims or kafir. So I would like to say, please, we must understand that there is no peace with Islam to the kafirs. If there is a true Muslim or the true follower of Islam, a true Muslim cannot be a good human being, and a good human beings cannot be a true Muslim. This is the relationship between humanity and Islam. Vice versa means if a man is true Muslim, he cannot be a true human being. If he is a true human being, then he cannot be a true Muslim. And those scholars which are saying that the Islam believes in coexistence, they are the greatest liar of this world. And these all the Maulanas or scholar, Islamic scholars are greatest liar of this society, because they are hiding the truth of Quran due to their shame. This is shameful to you, that what type of Prophet Muhammad Sahib and his companions who killed so many Jewish tribes and so many Kafirs and distributed their women inside or among the uh, Islamic army or the Muslim army at the time of Prophet Muhammad Sahib, and they robbed or they looted the wealth of the Kafirs, Hindus, Christians, Jews, Zen, Buddhist, all. So this is why they are trying to hide the brutality and cruelty and treacherousness of Islam. But this is not will be successful in this day due to the this information technology advancement, as the Facebook or YouTube and the Instagram, Telegram, and so many apps and so many appliances which are increasing the awareness between or among the non-Muslims and even Muslims, that certainly there is some lacunas in the Islamic doctrine which are propagating the violence and nuisance this world, and this cannot be run now as long as possible, because nobody want to be dead or died with the hand of these Muslims, fanatic Muslim Islamic terrorism. So we have to face this Islamic terrorism. This is a this is a dark spot of the humanity throughout the world. Islam is a dark spot now, and all these verses are very against the humanity and propagated the violence and rapes, robbery, and the extortion tax, that is Rangdar in Hindi, that is Gunda tax or Hafta Vasuli, Zazia tax. So this cannot be run now. So Islam does not believe in coexistence. It is the greatest lie of this world. And the Islamic scholars are the greatest liars of this world if they are saying that Islam believes in coexistence. No, there is no chance of coexistence in Islam with the Kafirs. But even though in Islam, Kaffirs are wasbekatil, they are the monkey, donkey, and pigs. When they are monkey, donkey, and pigs, how the Islam exist with these monkeys, dogs, and pigs? This is only fabricated and falsehood of the Islam, who ever hide the true facts against the Kaffirs repeatedly and try to uh, 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 tried to prove is a correct ideology due to their obstination. And this obstination in the Islamic followers create a nuisance and havoc or nonsense in this society, because they have no knowledge about what is the humanity and what is the real science and what is the real aspect of or attitude or etiquette of the civil society. Islam does not teach any civic civic sense or etiquettes, but it is totally against the human etiquettes, and it teaches only it teaches only the criminology to the Muslims, and as the Kaffirs are was Qatar. So in the last, I would like to say, please subscribe it, put the bell icon on the mantram. Thank you. See you. Good night.